right, welcome back everybody. This week's going to be fun because this is a new band for me for the channel. First lesson I've done for REO Speedwagon, and I'm sure there will be more. But this is Time for Me to Fly by REO Speedwagon from 1978, I believe. I think the album was called You Can't Tuna Fish, I think. And there's basically 4 guitar parts on here. There's a acoustic, which has a unique tuning on it, if you want to sound like the record. And then there's 3 electric parts, and I'm going to walk through all of those, and they all build to this great guitar arrangement on this awesome song. Okay, so if this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down, click subscribe, and ring the bell. The bell will let you know when I drop new content. I do that every single week. All my lessons have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I appreciate that. There's thanks, just like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Or even better, you can join my Patreon page where I've got chord charts and tabs for all the lessons I do on YouTube, just like this one. Links in the description, so check it out. All right, I love this song. So this is going to have an acoustic part that's played by Kevin Cronin. And the electric parts are all done, I think, by Gary Rickrath or Rick Rath. I'm not exactly sure how you say his name, but he's a monster player. Anyway, so this acoustic part that's on the record is super interesting. In fact, I saw REO Speedwagon and Def Leppard live probably about 7-ish more years ago now. Never seen them live before. And when they got up and did this song, he had his acoustic. He played it on a 12-string live. And he did something really weird. He was like playing the chords from up here. Not like this way. He was playing the chords like this. I'm like, what the hell is that? So I had to go figure out what that was. Anyway, but I've got it. So what he does is he tunes his guitar. The song is in D. And he tunes his guitar to an open D chord, okay? So it's as if you're making an E-shaped chord like this, but everything is in the key of D. So what that means is, to tune your guitar that way, you tune your low E string down to a D. You leave the 5th, and the 4th ones alone. You tune your 3rd string down 1 fret to an F sharp. And you tune the strings 1 and 2 down a whole step, or 2 frets. So that's an A and a D now. So, right? So that allows you to do straight across for like that's a D major. So now your 4 chord off of a D is a G, and you play that straight across here on the 5th fret. And 7th fret is your A, right? But here's what's going on with what he plays. He lets these 2 strings open the whole time, which is great. So what he's doing is he's laying his finger from the top across the first 4 strings. Isn't that crazy? It takes a long time to get used to that. Yeah, I know my guitar is not 100% intonated, it seems. But that's it. Those are all of the actual chords in the song, by the way. It's a D chord on this guitar played open. It's a G chord on this guitar played at the 5th fret, again, with those 2 ringing open. So it's whatever that chart says, there's like an 11 in it and whatever. And then same thing up here, but those are the voicings. Okay, and the strumming is just very loose. But there is a fair amount of up and down. Okay, now you can play it this way. You can try and play it this way and let those strings ring open. When I do that, it's sort of like your knuckle, where you bend your knuckle, it has to be like exactly the right distance to like cover those 4 strings and be up so it doesn't cover strings 1 and 2. So what happens usually for me is if I were to do, when I do that, I actually end up muting that 3rd string, which still works. Okay, so that's sort of the intro part. Then on the verse, yeah, I'm gonna play it this way because it's just so hard for me to go like this. But anyway, so yeah, that sort of inversion, it's all the same chords, but you're starting on your D, you go up to your 5th chord, back down to your 4th. That's all that's happening there. Yep. No. Right? That's all that there is for the chords. That's the secret sauce. It's the tuning, okay? So if you look at them playing it live, even in the old clips, so there's a clip of him playing it live on this open tuning. There's a clip of him, and nowadays he does it. There's also a clip of him live in the old days where he plays as if you had tuned your guitar down to D standard, right? So you would still, instead of being open, you would actually make that E shape. And there's a version of it, I'm going to link it here, where he plays it, and you still get that, you can still get that open A and B string, and you just play more familiar chord shapes without having to do all this stuff. So that shape would be like this, that E shape. The next shape would be like this. You can see it over my shoulder, and then like this. So that would be your 3 sort of alternate versions. You could do this in a more, I don't know, in a more familiar chord format, I guess, where you don't have to worry about that. But yeah. So that's the secret sauce for the acoustic parts, all right? So now let's talk about all the electric goodness that's going on by Gary Rickrath. All right, now these electric parts, there's 3 of them. One is got sort of an overdriven, I'm sure it's a Les Paul, it's an overdriven rhythm guitar that sort of carries through the entire song, but it's not very high in the mix. It comes in hard on the chorus, and then they sort of have it sort of supporting throughout the whole thing, but it's always there. Very sort of overdriven. If you're interested, all of the details of my signal chain are going to be in the description below. I'm making no claims that this is trying to sound exactly like what they did, but I'll give you the vibe of it, right? So this is definitely hard overdrive / distortion. I'm going Les Paul bridge pickup, and so now we're in standard tuning. All the electric stuff is in standard tuning. Yeah, so where this comes in is on the first chorus, and it's just a big 1-4-5. He might play bar chords, but I'm hearing a lot of that. So he might be in first position chords. And then it's very rhythmic during the verses. Like that, you know, which is super cool. It gives room for the lyrics and just everything to have room to breathe instead of just constant fire breathing. You know, it just doesn't leave room for anything. Then the B section. I make you laugh. You make me cry. Time for me to fly. Time for me to fly. Just the great lyrics. Just more of the same chords. Time for me to fly. All right, then it goes into the guitar solo, and he sort of backs off a little bit, but the chord sequence. Back into your chorus again. So just great, just leaving room for everything else to happen. So that's really the vibe for that sort of overdriven electric that's going on through the whole thing, you know. You pick your spots to be, you know, to hit it hard, right? But it's just literally 3 chords. Now there's a clean lead slash rhythm guitar, sort of an accent guitar that plays some beautiful parts. When this band plays this song live, the keyboard is the one that's usually playing these parts. But on the record, there's a guitar very clearly doing it. And it sounds very clean. It's like it might even be direct into the board. I'm going to play my Ricky 6 here just because, I don't know, it's super clean and I love the guitar and I'm going to play it. No claim that he played a guitar like this on the record, but the part is played with a capo on the 2nd fret for these parts. So there's a little bit of complementing arpeggio that he does during the choruses and during the guitar solo, underneath the guitar solo. So it's standard tuning. But we're just capoed at 2. And so now a D chord is a C-shaped chord. A G is a F-shaped chord. And an A is a G-shaped chord, just because we have the capo here, right? So, all right. So first comes in with time for me to fly during the chorus, and what he's going to play is this part. And the second time around, just a little bit different from an A to a B part. So what's happening there? So time for me to fly, that's an A chord. Down to a G, and he doesn't go down low, he plays it here, your little triad, and then he ends on your D note. This is a C-shaped D chord. That's the first time. The second time, So instead of, he's gonna going to your open first string, right? And if you think about it, because that is the chord that's happening, that D. Whoops. I just automatically fret the rest of the chord even though you're not playing it. Okay? So that's that part under the chorus. Now, what happens during the guitar solo? This is really cool because what happens is there's sort of a call and response or an interplay between what's happening with this guitar and what we'll see in just a minute about the lead guitar, what that part is, right? So on the guitar solo, we'll learn it in a minute, but the lead guitar plays this little line, which is just outlining a D chord. And then the response that happens on this guitar is this little descending arpeggio from a D configured position here with your capo. And then the last note you hit is the third fret, sort of this F shape, which is a G, right? And then the lead guitar plays its other line. That's pretty. So you're ending on that A chord. And then there's a nice little arpeggio he does to close it out. Just climbing that sort of C-shaped chord. It's so pretty. But it starts on that G-shaped chord. You're going to go all the way across now. And you're moving to your C-shaped chord, your D. And so when you get across to that point, you're going to skip a string and come back, and then skip a string and come back, and then skip to the next position of that scale and that chord. So in the end, it's that little part. I find myself doing that a lot. Maybe I heard it from here and absorbed it, but skip a string, skip a string, and then the next note in the chord sequence is this, right? And the lead guitar does a super high D to close it out, but that's it. So that part all together, here's opening with the lead. Played a little extra note on there, but just beautiful part. It's just great how they weave those together, but if that's not in there, you miss it, right? So let's hear what's going on with the actual lead. All right, so now there is a lead guitar, and the part that this plays is super beautiful, and it's sort of a counter melody to the clean guitar, the cleaner lead / rhythm guitar that we just learned about too. So when it gets to the guitar solo, this is really the part that he's playing. It's just outlining a D chord with an F sharp in the bass. Right? Second one I think is a pre-bend. That's over a G chord, right? So the first one is outlining a D. And then we're moving from a D to a G in terms of the chord that's happening. And And then the next chord is an A. And we're starting on the D note here on the B string, the 15th, which is that, which makes it an A sus for a second. And then N, there's a harmonized sort of lead where we're up here on the 22nd fret. So he plays a D note, and he plays an A note. So that's basically this. When I've played this live, I've done this to get a little feeling out of it. It's just it's the same A note. I'm just playing it on that first string, and I'm playing a lower octave D, which just still gives you that sort of vibe, right? There you go. All right, well, that was Time for Me to Fly by REO Speedwagon, and I hope you learned something new today. If this is the kind of thing that you like and you haven't done so yet, please jump down, click subscribe, ring the bell. Bell will let you know when I drop new content. I do it every single week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this song, and if there's another song you want me to do a lesson that's similar, let me know what that is too. But until next week, take care, everybody.